going to start our today's lecture. In the last lectures, we had covered what is programming language, how you can write a basic code in C++. We also write a program for our retail store for entering the stock or deleting the stock, all of that. Now, in the last lectures of this course, we are going to see how we can create a test plan for the code we just have written. Why test plan is important, what is test plan, and how we can write a test plan for a specific software or a program. We are going to see this in today's lecture. Let's get started. So first of all, what we discuss is about what is a test and what is a plan. So basically, plan means to making a decision related to something. Like if you want to do something, you have to create a complete roadmap of what you are going to do and how you are going to do. And test means to see whether the created plan is going to be successful or not. You have to test that. Now, you have created your program. Now, before delivering it to your client, you have to check whether my program that I have created is working properly or not. For that purpose, you create a plan to test all of that code. So basically, the purpose of test plan in simple words, we can say that is to just check out the functionality, whether it's working properly or not, or whether it is according to your customer requirement or not. That is the purpose of a test plan. So first, we will see what is a test plan, what are some key components of a test plan, and how you are going to write a test plan for a software, or whether it is any application, whether it is a code, or whether it is a complete software. We have seen what is a test plan means. It's just a document. It can be a Word document that will contains what is the objective of your application. For example, in your assignment, there was the retail store application. What was the objective of that? You can write in the objective that the objective of that application or my program is to create app or application for a retail shop just for entering the stock, keeping an eye on the stock, or keep tracking the stock, or deleting the stock, managing the inventory, or all of that. So you will mention the objective. Then here the second thing comes is the scope, means where that program is going to be used. Now you have created for a retail shop. You cannot use that in any hospital or library management system. It can only be used in the retail shop. It can be any. So the word scope means where that software is going to be used, where that program is going to be implemented, or where you can going to use that. So that is your scope, means at what place your program is going to be used. Now you have created, let's suppose you have created any, let's say online attendance system. Let's suppose you have created that. Can you use that in any workplace? Like you cannot use any businesses like retail shop. What a attendance system will do in a retail shop. So scope of a program means where it can be applied or where you can going to be use that. So that is the scope. So in your test plan, first of all, you will write the introduction to your application, why you have written this program, what is the purpose of that program. Then in the objective section, you will write what is the goal of your software or program, and then you will write the scope, means where your program is going to be applicable. Then resources, means what are the things involved while creating that software, or what are the resources you use. Let's suppose you have used language such as Python. So what kind of libraries you have included, what kind of software you use to create that application. So that are all the resources you have to mention in that test plan. Later we will see live example or a real test plan of a application, so that you can get a better idea of how you can create a test plan. Then afterwards, you have mentioned the resources, you have mentioned the objective, the scope, why you are going to use that application. Now, After that, you have to create the test cases. Means what part of the application you have to use, you have to test, and how you are going to verify that. So that is a test plan. Now we will see some key components of, let me show you first a test plan. So you might get a small idea of how a test plan look like. This is a test plan for an online banking application. You can mention the version and the date when you have created that test plan. Then you can also mention the catalog, like when you have changed the version. So in this way, you can create a test plan. You can mention the table of content. As I mentioned that, first of all, you will give the introduction, the scope. So first of all, we are not going to see deeply, just a quick overview so that you can get an idea. Afterwards, means after I explain you what a test plan and how we are going to write, we will see each of the point one by one. See, this is how our test plan looks like. You will write the scope, what kind of testing you are going to apply here. Look, so this is how a test plan is created. Look, it's just a simple test plan of an application. So this is how a test plan is created. So now you might get an idea of how a test plan looks like and how you can create that one. So the first thing that we need to write is the introduction part. Means here you will provide an overview of the software. Means it can include the purpose. So the first part is the introduction. So if I open this test plan here, so in introduction part, what is written here means the purpose of the test plan. Let's suppose it's a test plan of an online banking application. You have to give a brief overview of your application. Means here you can write what kind of test you are going to create during the planning phase, then what kind of audience you are going to target, the software development team, the software testing team. So you have to mention the purpose of your test plan. Then after that, the second thing I mentioned is the scope. Now, as I say, in scope, you will write where your application is going to be used. So that is the scope of that test plan or scope of that application. So here, as it is an online banking application, so you can write a brief theory of that, like test plan will or will not be tested on resources that are not related to your banking application. Now, then in the scope, you will mention the different types of tests that you can be used to test your application. Now, these are all the tests. Now, the first one is the functional testing. You will mention functional testing means, let's suppose in our last lecture, we created a program for a retail shop. So you write a lot of functions there, right? But when you are going to create a big application, instead of writing that small functions, modules are created. And each module creates a single functionality. So you have to do a functional testing. Means you will test each and every module, whether it is working well or not, whether each module is working according to the functionality that you want from that module or not. So first, you have to do the functional testing. Now how it is done, we will see later. Then usability testing means whether whatever you have created is going to be usable by the user. Can the users that are not able to use their sense of sight, hearing, or means the special persons, how they are going to use that? So that is the usability test. Then afterwards, you will do the performance testing. Like in performance testing, you will see what is the speed of my application, how much time it will use to take to load on a certain browser or on the, you can say, on the cross platforms, how it is going to work. So in performance testing, you check that. Then the security testing means you will authenticate the user, means whenever the user log in, whether your application is allowing the authorized user or not. So you do security testing. Then compatibility testing. Now, what is this? Let's suppose you are using Bing. Just like Google Chrome, Bing is another web browser. So whether your application is working on each and every browser or not. So sometimes this happens that you load your application in Chrome, but it doesn't work well on Bing or Mozilla or Safari. Many browsers are there. So you have to check, you have to ensure that whatever you have created, whether it is working well on each browser or on each device or not. So in this way, you will do end-to-end testing. User acceptance test means you release some beta versions. Means if you are Android users or Apple Store users, you can see whenever you download, you can just check. Like if you have your smartphones, you can just open the Play Store there and you can download any application. And when you scroll down, there sometimes there is written a beta version is available. You want to join or not. So what is that beta version? Beta version means they want to release a new version or application. And they request the community to join to see whether it is accepted by the user or not. So based on the feedback, then they redesign or recreate their application. So that beta version, we can say that is a form of user acceptance test. They check whether that application is accepted by the users or not. So that is the user acceptance test. So in scope, these all the parts are covered. You don't need to mention in detail what is the functional testing, what is the usability testing. You just mention where your application is going to be used and what kind of testing you are going to apply on your application. So these are all the things that you can test. Then we have seen the introduction. Then after introduction, you will write scope. Then objective. Now you have mentioned the introduction. You have mentioned the scope means where you have to use it. Now the third thing is the objective of your application. Why you created this application and well, one more thing. You will write the out of scope. Means the feature that will not be tested. Means you have created application for a retail store. So you say that we have performed this testing, but we cannot test the hardware and the infrastructure. Means we will not maintain the server. We cannot test the third party services. Means what are these third party services? Let's suppose you have created a weather application. API is a thing. You are at the beginner level, so we are not going in detail. Let's suppose you have seen a weather app in your mobile phones. So whenever you enter your city, you will get the current update of the weather of that city. How this application knows that the weather of this city is this? How the application keep track of all the weathers of all the city or all over the world? How that application knows how many cities are there in all over the world, how many countries are there, how many continents are there, what is their time, different span, all about that. So that is done with the help of an API, a third party service. Just for your knowledge, that API contains the data of the weather of each and every country and each and every city. So whenever you enter or hit any city in that search box, that application with the help of that API will give you result. So that is a third party service. In your test plan, you will mention that we are not going to test that API, whether it is working well or not. Then the objective. As I mentioned, after the scope, you have to mention the objective. Let's suppose it is an online banking application. So what will be the objective of your application? Means let's suppose you are an app or web developer and someone asks you to develop a application. So what will be your objective? You can say that whatever I'm going to create should be highly responsive, means the user can easily use that. You know the quality of the performance, the speed of the page loading, everything about it. Then you will see the security. Means it is a banking application, though, so the security of the user is very much important. Means it can contains the detail of their accounts, their personal details, so that any unauthorized user cannot enter their details and can use their details for wrong purpose. So the security can be the major objective of your application or your objective regarding to that application. Then security, you have mentioned, then performance. So these are all the objective that you can mention why you are going to creating that test plan. You have mentioned the objective, you have mentioned the scope, the introduction. So these are the three main headings that you have to mention before writing the method of testing in your test plan. Then let's see the next point here. So we have seen the objective, we have seen the introduction, then so you should keep a track of each and everything. Not like that before introduction you are going to write the scope, like you are writing the introduction in the third part, in the third page, and you are writing the scope in the first page. So you have to keep a track of all the things. Means first you will mention the introduction, then you will mention the scope, then what is the objective, then after that the testing approaches. Means the methodologies that you are using for testing, like the type of testing. Means I mentioned what kind of testing you are using, what is the specific tool you are using for testing, what is the framework that you will be used for that software. So you will mention all of that. So let's see an example of that. Now after objective, we are going to mention the test method. First of all, you will give a overview of that. Means, let's suppose here it is mentioned that you are going to test the target application using different test tools to see if there is any problem there or not. So you will give a brief theory, what different types of testing you are perform. So here, let's suppose it is a online banking testing application. This is the functional testing. In functional testing, you will write what function you are going to test. So as I mentioned, in functional testing, you will test each and every function. First of all, if someone has used the online banking application, then you will know that the user have to first register himself and then to log in. So first of all, so it is also a kind of function. Then, so you will mention that in my functional testing, first of all, I will check the user registration and login. Means what you are going to test, then you have to mention the detail on the right side. Here you will say that I will test the registration process so that the user can create the account successfully. Then after the user had created the account, I have to ensure that the user's credentials are valid and the access will be denied if they are invalid and will be given if the credentials are valid. So in this way, you are not going to create a real test plan. Just you have to mention the detail. Means I am going to do this and I will perform this test. Then fund transfer. It is another ability. Means whenever you are using an online application, you will transfer some fund. Means you will transfer some amount from one banking account to another banking account. You will write a detail of that. Means I will test whether my application is able to transfer the funds between two accounts like saving, checking, credit cards within the same bank or not. Then I will verify or I will test that can my application will make the external transfers or not. Means if you want to transfer your money from one banking account to another, whether your application is capable of doing that or not. So these are all the different kind of testing that you can perform on your application. Means if we take a retail shop example, so let's say Let's do the functional testing of that. For example, user login will be the must, means the retail owner will have to do the login. So this test will be remains the same. Then here instead of fund transfer, you will write inventory checking. Means here you will test whether my application is keeping the track of all the inventory items or not, whether it can store all the items or not, whether my application is going to delete if I want to delete something, if I want to store some new items, whether my application can do that or not. So these can all be the tests that you can perform there. Here in the methodology part, you will write the types of testing. Bill payment means, and if we are going to take the example of retail shop, whether my application will check the loans or other regular payments or not, means it will verify that payment is scheduled or not, means let's suppose someone wants to cancel the order, so whether your application can do that or not. So in this way you can do all the functional testing. So first you will write a test plan. So this is the methodology. So first you will write the functional testing. Then there are many other testing you can mention, like the security testing, the usability testing, alpha testing, beta testing. Many are there. You can mention as much as you want. Then the third thing. Yes, we have after writing the test approaches, you have to write the test environment. What kind of environment you are going to use, whether the software or whether the hardware resources that is going to be used to run that application are can be proper or not. So let's see with an example here. So this is a test plan for an banking application. So first we will see the environment part and then we will see this test cases. So I will explain how you are going to write the test cases. First I will show you the environment part here. So yes, there it is. So in test environment, let's suppose you have created a program for a retail shop in some recent activity or lecture, right? So now what you have to do that is to test the server. Let's suppose it is a web application. So you will see whether the server can run your application or not. So what is a server? Let's suppose whenever you type the URL of a website on your Google search bar. So what it will happen, that search engine will take the query to the server. A server is something who will respond to the requested query. Let's suppose you can take as client in a server mode. The server can be a salesperson and you can be a customer. So for example, if you want something, right, then what you will do? You will ask the salesperson and that salesperson will provide you the desired product. Similarly, if you want something, then what you will do? So you will write a query and in the response, the server will provide you the requested web page. So in the test environment, you will check whether my server can take that application or not. Then a database server. Now, what is a database server? Let's suppose you have created your retail shop application or code. You are going to store some data related to each and every stock, each and every item that you have created or you have stored there. So they have to be stored somewhere. You can say database is just like a room where you can store that data. Whenever you are going to create any application program, have you ever wondered how application validate the user? You enter your credentials and then on the behalf of your credentials, your access is denied or maybe granted to you. All that data is stored in that database. Your name, your logins, your IDs, your password. So database server can store all of that. Transactions, your financial information, everything will be stored there. So during this testing environment, you will check whether my database server has the capacity to store that user data or not. So in testing environment, you will check. Then after that, the web server. So as I mentioned, the HTTP request or protocol. So here the HTTP, if you are familiar with web, HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Means this is the protocol that is responsible for taking the query from client side to the server. So let's suppose I want to search what is a computer. So that is my query. So the purpose of this HTTP is to take my query to the server so that the server can respond with the answer. You have to test your web server, whether it is serving the web pages to the user or not. So in this way, you will test the environment of your application. So you don't have to mention that when you are going to create a test plan, how I am going to use that. Just you have to mention I am going to perform these kind of testing. Then this is the server testing. You can do also the network infrastructure testing. How kind of connection your application is going to respond. Let's suppose there is very low connectivity. Whether your application is working well in that environment or not. You might notice, okay, the real-time interaction application means that I am interacting you in a real time. In the network infrastructure, we see that whether my application is going to work well in the low or bad network or not. Then you will check the network security settings. So you can check your firewalls, whether your system can work well in that firewalls. If you have your PCs in your homes, if you are going to use that, you can just search their firewall. It is just like a wall that protects your computer from external connections. Just say that it will protect your computer from attackers. So what a firewall will do, like you have launched your application on your server and you just suppose I search for a desired application. Let's say I just search for a banking application on my search bar. So I got some result. So what a firewall will do, it will deny that request. It will not give that application to access your PC. So when you allow that application, then that application will operate in your system. So this is the network testing, how the firewall will going to behave with my application. So these are all the tests what a programmer have to do after writing a program. Then storage. You download something on Play Store. Let's take an example of Android application. There is a desired storage written there that this application will use 4 GB of space, 1 GB, some MBs or some KBs. So you have to see how much space will my application require or acquire after installing in the customer's or client PC. So the goal of a programmer is to create an application that takes less space. If it takes less space, it will be optimized better. It will leave a good user experience. So you will test your storage. Now, let me tell you how you can test the storage of your program. You will reduce the line of your code. Means you have written some line of code. So you will try to reduce that. Lesser line of code means less storage. Let's suppose my application is based upon 500 LOC. Now what will happen? It will increase the size of the storage. It is not a good application because it is taking a large amount of storage. It will take a large amount of time to be downloaded. A user might not be attracted towards that. So that's why you have to reduce your line of code. So there are many other techniques at a beginner level. You don't need to know about that, but I will tell you some of that. Refactoring is one of our technique that most of the programmers use to reduce their line of code. Like, let me give you an example. We have written a program in our last lecture. We created a functions. So basically, functions are that's why created so that we can reduce our line of code. Means, let's suppose we want to add 2 or 3 numbers again and again in the program. Instead of writing the whole code, we will just write a specific program and give a call to that program. So that will help us to reduce the line of code. So in this way, storage is going to be tested in some manner. So in your test plan document, you don't need to mention all of this. Just you will mention that I am going to test my storage, I will going to test my RAM, and I am going to test my processor. Now, testing a processor is very important here. You have to see, you have written a program, whether your application is going to be operated on certain processors or not. Now, there are multiple kind of processor, like a processor with 1 core, a processor with 2 core. So if your client, let's suppose, if your client who requested you to create a program or a software has an old generation PC, like a third generation PC or a second generation or a fourth generation PC, whether my application will works well. So your goal is to run your application on that third generation PC, on that third generation CPU, so that that client can run that. So in this way, you have to also check the processor, that whether the client processor will launch my application or not. So this is the methodology part or test environment part, that you will write what kind of hardware or software or other resources you are going to test. So that are all the main or basic approaches that you will write while creating a test plan for your application. Now we have seen what is a test plan. Now we have seen an working example of that test plan. Now the question is how you will write a test plan. So as I mentioned, you have to understand the requirement first. What is the objective? Like here in this example, I have shown you. First, you will write the objective like this here. In the introduction, you will give the introduction of my application. Like, I have created an application for a retail shop. So what is the purpose of that? How you are going to write that? You will mention in this introduction part. Then you will write the scope where your application is going to be used. So it is for retail shop. It can be used only in retail shop. It cannot be used somewhere else. So in this way, you will write the scope of that. Then after that, what you are going to do is to define the roles and responsibility, why you are going to write that test plan, how you are going to write that test plan. You will mention all about there. So we have seen a real test plan of an online banking application. We have seen that how you can write a test plan. So let's see some components of a test plan. So again, revising that again, you have to first write the scope, have to write the test objective, mean why are you testing that application. Then risk analysis is very important. Means what are the risks that your application can be faced. Like it's a retail shop, so what can be the risk? The risk can be your program cannot store these items, some extra items. Your program cannot be stored. There can be limited capacity of your program. Your program have to be updated after a year, on monthly basis, on yearly basis. So that can be a risk. Maybe your program cannot be compatible with the client's browser or the client's system. Then you have to give the test design, means the design that you have created, a prototype of that. Then the rules and the regulation that you are going to follow then while creating that application. So there can be a lot of headings depend upon your test plan that you wants to create. So I have just written some of them just to give a brief example of how you are going to create a test plan or how you can create a test plan. So these are some stages of a test plan. Let's see some of them. First of all, in this scope, what you will write, you will understand the context. What is that application and where is going to use. Then after that, you will organize a test plan development. As I mentioned there, just like if you remember, we write functional testing, unit testing, integration testing. So that was a organized test plan development, like what kind of things you are going to test. Now, these two were comes under the category of scope. Now, after the scope, you will analyze the risk, means you will identify the risk. What can be the things that can harm my application or my code? Now, that is also done. So, the treatment approaches, we have seen some approaches for that risk. Now, you have identified the risk. Now, how you are going to deal with that? Let's suppose there is a risk of due to a large number of code, means there is your line of code is too much, so it is taking a lot of space on your client's computer, but your client computer does not have enough space to store that. So that is a risk. Maybe your client denied to get your application. Maybe your client says that I'm not going to order that, please return my money because it's taking too much space. So how you're going to deal with? You will refactor your code. You will reduce the line of code so that it can reduce the risk. So you have identified the risk. Then after that, you have some approaches for that. So that is your strategy, means how you are going to deal with that. Now you will define that strategy, then you will define the staff, you will define the schedule, what is the profit, you will define some, you can say, tools for that. We have seen some of them. Now let's see some test cases. That was the only part that was left there. So let me show you how you can create some test cases for that. So this is the test case testing plan of an online banking application. So after defining the scope, the objective, the method you are going to follow, you have to write the test cases. Now how? Let's see. In online banking application, you have to verify the payment have been done successfully. Now what will be the test case? For the payment, the user have to be logged into the banking application. So your precondition means what are the conditions that user have to follow. Means let's suppose you are a user and you want to transfer some money. So for transferring the money, first you have to log into that application. So that is the precondition, just like the prerequisites that you have to follow before doing something. That is the precondition. For transferring something, you have to log in first. So in the test case, first you will give the heading, the title of your test case, then you can give any id you want to give, means what will be the id, any name you can give them. Then the precondition, like for transfer, the user have to log in, or if it is, let's suppose it is a hospital management system, and the user, if it is an app for hiring a doctor, what will be the precondition? You must have a appointment to get a checkup from the doctor. So that can be the precondition. Without appointment, you cannot go to the doctor. So preconditions are the prerequisites that you have to follow. Then you will write the steps of the test. Means the user will navigate the bill payment section. It will just select the biller list. If the payment is invalid, the value will be negative. So in this way, you will write a test step, how you are going to test it. Post condition will be the receipt will be acknowledged. Means the if the payment is done, the receipt is issued to the customer. So in this way, you can write the test plans. Then you can write as many as you can test cases. Means if you want to add more, you can add. Like you will verify the online payment validation test case. So let's suppose, let's create a test case for that retail shop. The first test case will be the owner have to be logged in successfully. So it will be the remain same. The second test case will be the program should store the stock successfully, means store the items successfully. So how you are going to, the preconditions will be the program should have enough space, the owner have some items to store in that. So that can be the precondition. In the test steps, you will write the owner will log into the account. After logging in the account, the owner will try to add some items there. And The item should not exceed the limited capacity. Let's suppose in your database, you have just given a limited capacity of 1 GB or 2 GB. That can be a precondition that the items should not be exceeding the limited capacity. So you will write that. Then after that, you will define the expected result. Means the system should display a error message if there is not enough space. So in this way, you can create such kind of test cases. After defining the kind of method you are going to follow, you have to also define the test cases. Now we have seen this. So there are some key concepts that you have to follow. Means your test should be concise. It should not be long enough so that people couldn't read. You have to keep your sentence short. Your sentence should be short. It should be readable. Means it should be in a plain language. You should not use complex words so that it cannot be read by common people. Then you can use acronyms like this. What are acronyms? Let me show you. The keywords for something. Like here you can give the heading of acronyms, like the short form of something. If you have used some short form, then you have to mention. If it is you are using the word API, then you have to give the definition of that term, then the definition. So this is a tip of writing a test case, that it should be organized, it should be concise, it should be readable, means as short as you can. Then it should be accurate, means the information you are going to don't add some unrealistic information there. Means your test plan shouldn't, means you say that I will apply this test plan on the data set of 200 people, or 200 data is there. So you can't do that. So for that purpose, what you have to do, your information should be accurate. You will write, now this is another test case for a hospital management system. First, you will define the objective, prerequisites, means to verify the patient information. This is the test case. You will write the prerequisite. The user must be logged into the EMR system. Then you will write the login procedure. The test steps. After that, you will give some expected results. What are the results that you are expected from that? So in this way, these are all the examples of test cases. You can create test cases of any application. So in this way, you can write the criteria for that. Now you have done the test cases, you have done the testing. After the last thing after writing a program is to review your code and to evaluate the program. Now, what you can do here is to see whether there is any bug in your program or not. If there is any bug, how you are going to remove that bug. So this is how you can do that. So you will gather the feedback by doing the beta testing. I have explained you the beta testing, that it is the unreleased version that is launched on the Play Store to get the feedback. You will do the document findings, means you will see the review procedure, you have identified the issue, how you can going to remove that. Then you will iterate and improve. Like you have debugged your code and you find some error there, then you are going to modify it again and again. So in this way, this is how you are going to create the test plan and how you are going to review that. So I have just explained deeply this test plan, how you are going to create this, because the in the last activity you have to create a test plan. So by following these steps, if you have listened carefully, you can create a test plan by your own.